Welcome to the Elements of Spirit readings for the week of May 1st, 2017. This is the reading for the element of air, which is associated with the sun signs of Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. If you haven't listened to your ether reading, go back and check that out now. Otherwise, welcome to the air. Okay, interesting. What do I need? Higher mind. What do I need to survive? What do I need to give? What do I desire to give? Okay, cool. So what's really cool about this week is we get another another little diagram. We're getting like a very geological week this week. Okay, so what this is actually saying is it's saying that you because you're air elements, because you're in the element of air, you're using your higher mind a lot. But what's interesting, it's like you're using your higher mind for something that the higher mind's not suited to, which is yourself, right? It's like I'm using my mind to figure out what I need to survive. So it's like in the ether reading, we were talking about how the unconscious mind, yellow mind, solar plexus mind, enteric gut brain has been sort of feeling its way out for what it needs to survive, what you need to survive, and that we've all been kind of stuck in like a biofeedback loop, in like a feedback loop of like, I have the will to survive, the will to survive, the will to survive, the will to survive, and being stuck in that loop is preventing us from using a lot of the deeper power that we actually have. But that's not actually that weird, because it's a little bit of a holding pattern, because later this week when Mercury retrograde ends, a lot of the energy which has been caught up from the other retrogrades, and which is still caught up in other retrogrades, but a lot of the stuff that's come out since Venus, we understand a lot better. We see it more clearly. We get it better. So the idea here is that you air signs have been pushing to understand it better, kind of, at least since last week, but that's what they're saying now, is that in this moment you are approaching it from the top down, and in a weird way using the higher mind, your discerning faculties, to identify and pick apart what you need to survive. What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? What do I need? And this is not the unconscious mind. This is the conscious mind. This is a higher mind. This is the mind you use to meditate. Instead of focusing on manifestation and visualization and the highest outcome for all and dreams coming true and everything's fantastic and holding that beautiful positive harmonic, you're actually using that higher conscious mind to look down and figure out, what do I need to survive? So there's a very brutalist approach to your experience right now, air signs, where y'all are trying to look at everything from the top down and break it down into, what do I need to get? What do I need to have? What do I need to do? What do I need to feel? Which is fine, because it's, whatever. It's survival. You're doing what you can to survive. But the message here is that you're using your conscious mind like your unconscious mind. So it's natural for the unconscious mind, for the guts, for the will to try to survive. And part of the evolutionary human journey is recalibrating the will away from survival, away from self-gratification, into, a group mind, a single mind, unity of purpose, right? To do the things that cultivate love, even if they don't necessarily give me everything I want right away. It's not about my survival. It's about what's for the greater good, right? And that's a whole process. That's like a whole evolutionary spiritual process. So, and it happens to us all the time, where we get confused between our higher mind and our lower mind, or where we start. P.S. guys, I don't really like the distinction of higher mind, lower mind, but it helps for the sake of conversation. If you have an issue, write a comment and we'll talk about it. In this case, it's natural for the gut brain, for the enteric brain, for that inner instinctual mind to try to survive. We try to cultivate it so that we go after loftier things than the survival that we need for ourselves. We try to cultivate the will to contribute to the greater good of all. But in this case, your higher mind is almost acting unconsciously. It's like, rather than the lower mind, which is that will to survive or that will to love, in this case, the higher mind is not using its discernment to figure out what's for the greater good. It's using its discernment to figure out what's best for you. And it's just a little lopsided because you're still working with survival. You're not really doing anything to get that delicious power from the unconscious up into you. And the idea here is that for you guys, sitting still for long enough to ask the question, or like we said in the ether affirmation, I faithfully pause to break all toxic cycles and allow the power of my unconscious to be revealed. We love that. For you guys, it's time for you to sit still enough to break all the toxic cycles and allow the power of my unconscious to be revealed by asking a specific question. What do I desire to give? How do I desire to serve? What do I desire to give? Because I think part of the thing with you guys is that in your survival mode this week, you feel kind of out of control. And like I said, you're not going to get any really good information about what you need or what you have or what you have to do until later this week, possibly not until Friday, Saturday, after that, after the first few days of Mercury stationing direct in that storm phase. It feels like there's going to be a real different sense of your guys' experience here, because then you're going to have a lot more information, a lot more material, and you're going to know what to do. In the meantime, it's like we have to give your mind something to think about in order to make it from here to there. And the suggestion in this case is asking, what do I desire to give? How do I desire to serve? Okay, wait. Okay, I channel my criticality and impatience into a conscious consideration of how I wish, oh no, it's not wish, how I desire to serve most. So the idea here, you guys, is yes, you stop, you break the toxic cycles, you affirm that you are allowing the power of your unconscious to be revealed. This is giving you like a way to hypercharge that, to get even more power from your unconscious by not thinking about what you need, but by really thinking about what it is that you want to give and how it is that you want to serve. Why are you here? Oh, P.S. This is not supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be like go to the soup kitchen if you don't want to do that. It doesn't have to just be like volunteer work. It can be something really simple. But you're asking questions of and specifically, your impatience and your criticality of self or of others is meant to be channeled into, use that brain energy, use that fuel, use that vitality in order to consciously consider how you desire to serve the most in this world. I talk about service a lot. I think it's connected with soul and even with psychic powers. So it's worth it to consider it. Remember, it's not just about the thing that you do. It's also about how you do it and how you want to do it. It's not supposed to be a dry path. You're not supposed to hate being of service. Being of service is supposed to make you feel good. And what's even really cool about this is that you guys don't even have to come up with the answer this week. You don't need to know how to serve. The idea, though, is just to catch your mind when it starts focusing more on what you need to survive. And the ether reading is saying, and stop and chill. But your air reading is saying, and then go one step further and just think about, consider what you're here to give, how you want to serve. And then that allows power from your unconscious to come up around you, which says to me that you've had a lot of a desire to serve and be of service and give and heal and help that's actually been repressed, that's actually been held under wraps. So use this affirmation this week to get it out. I channel my criticality and impatience into a conscious consideration of how I desire to serve most. I love you so much. I'll see you next week. Ciao, ciao, ciao.